Welcome, deep divers. Ever wonder what really truly separates those leaders, those businesses, maybe even movements that don't just succeed, but actually inspire?
Yeah, what is that secret sauce?
Exactly. That thing that makes ideas stick, builds real loyalty, and creates impact that, lasts way beyond just a trend. We're talking about something pretty powerful here.
Something that shifts mindsets.
Right. Drives innovation, fosters that kind of unwavering trust. So today we're doing a deep dive into a concept that's really become, well, a cornerstone for modern leadership and communication.
Simon Sinek's Start With Why.
That's the one. Start with why. How great leaders inspire everyone to take action. And it's not just the famous TED Talk. This is the full work, the book expanding on it all.
A much deeper exploration.
Our mission, to unpack the core insights, really get our heads around what start with why means for how we talk, how we lead, and crucially, how we connect. Okay, let's dig in.
Sounds good. It's such a great framework for understanding why some things resonate and others just don't. Sinek published it back in 2009, I believe. Right. And it tackles that core question. Why do some leaders, some organizations ignite passion, loyalty, while others just kind of fizzle out, even with good products? And the central idea, it seems simple, but it's profound. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
That line always gets me. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
It does.
Because we spend so much energy on the what, our products or services. But if that's not the main driver,
Yeah.
then what is?
Exactly. And that's the challenge Sinek points out. Most companies, even most people, they know what they do. I sell widgets. I provide consulting. Easy.
Sure.
And many can explain how they do it. We have this special process. Our tech is better. The differentiator.
Value proposition, sort of.
Kind of. But very, very few can clearly articulate why they do what they do. And the why here isn't about profit. Sinek is clear. Profit's a result.
Right, it's not the reason.
Exactly. The why is the purpose, the cause, the core belief, the fundamental reason you exist beyond just making money or selling things.
Okay, so if most companies are missing this clear why, what happens? What's the downside? Sinek uses this strong word, manipulation.
Yeah. And it sounds harsh, maybe.
It does a bit.
Yeah.
What does he really mean by that in this context? Is it always, devious?
Not necessarily devious, no. It's more about the tactics used when you don't lead with why. He's talking about common business practices, actually. Things like price cuts, big promotions.
Bring on and get one free.
Exactly. Or using fear, limited time offer. Or playing on aspirations, buy this, be like them, even peer pressure. These things work,
Oh, yeah, they drive sales.
For a bit. They just transactions. But they don't build real loyalty. They don't inspire. It's a transactional relationship. You buy because it's cheap or it's convenient now.
But you'll switch just as easily when the next deal comes along.
Precisely. It's a short-term fix, doesn't build trust, doesn't build a passionate following. It's all focused on the outside, the what.
That makes so much sense. It's not about being bad, it's just limited.
So if that's the default, the sort of easier path, what's the next alternative? This is where it gets really interesting for me. The golden circle.
Yes. The golden circle is such a clear visual way to think about it. Imagine a target. Okay. 3 concentric circles.
Is that it?
Right in the middle, the bullseye, that's the why. Your purpose, your core belief, the reason you get out of bed.
The heart of it all.
Exactly. Then the next ring out, that's the how. These are your guiding principles, your values, the specific actions and processes that bring your why to life, your unique approach.
How you actually do things based on that why.
Right. And then the outermost circle, that's the what. This is the tangible stuff, your products, your services, your job title, what you actually produce or offer.
Why? How? What?
The crucial insight, the big shift Sinek proposes, is direction. Most communicate from the outside in. Here's what we make. It's great how we make it. Want to buy one?
That sounds familiar. Very. But inspired leaders, inspired organizations, they work from the inside out. They start with why. Then they explain how they live that why. And finally, they show you what they offer as proof.
Inside out. Why, how, what. It feels almost backwards compared to how we usually operate.
It is backwards compared to convention.
But why? Why is starting with the why so much more powerful? Is it just a neat theory, or is there something, I don't know, deeper going on, maybe biological?
Bingo. And this is, for me, one of the most compelling parts of Sinek's argument. He ties it directly to how our brains are structured. It maps perfectly onto the golden circle.
Really? Yeah.
So think about the brain. We have the limbic system, right? It's older, evolutionarily speaking. It's responsible for all our feelings, trust, loyalty, emotion, and critically, it's responsible for decision-making. Gut feelings come from here.
Okay. The feeling part.
Right, and the limbic brain corresponds directly to the why circle. Now, here's the kicker. The limbic brain has no capacity for language. It feels, it doesn't articulate.
Whoa, okay.
Then you have the neocortex, our newer brain. This corresponds to the what and how circles. It's responsible for rational thought, analysis, logic, and importantly, language.
So the talking, thinking part.
Exactly. So when you communicate what's first, you're talking to the neocortex. People understand the features, the facts. It's rational.
Makes sense.
But when you start with why, you're speaking directly to the limbic brain. You're hitting that emotional core, the part that drives behavior, the part that makes decisions.
So you connect on an emotional level first.
Precisely. People make decisions based on emotion, based on that gut feeling, that connection to the why, and then they use the what and the how, the facts and figures from the neocortex, to rationalize that decision.
So the logic justifies the feeling, it doesn't create it.
You got it. Think about why someone buys, say, an Apple product. Is it just the specs? Or is it something about thinking different, about creativity, about challenging the status quo, the why? The specs help justify the purchase, but the initial pull is often emotional. Logic supports, but why inspires.
Wow. That biological connection
Yeah.
it reframes everything. Every purchase, every choice, even who we follow. It explains so much.
It does.
So, okay, knowing this, what does it mean for actually building a following? If you're trying to get customers, build a loyal team, rally people around a cause, how do you actually do that? How do you build that loyalty?
Well, the key takeaway is that real trust, real loyalty, it isn't built through perks or discounts or, manipulation tactics.
Right, we covered those.
It's built when people connect with your why because it mirrors their own beliefs and values.
Wow.
When you communicate from the why, you're essentially saying, here's what I believe. And people who believe the same thing are drawn to that.
It's like finding your tribe.
Exactly. Sinek has that great quote. The goal is not to do business with everyone who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. That's the foundation of true loyalty and community.
Not casting the widest net, but the most resonant one.
Precisely. And this ties directly into something called the law of diffusion of innovation. You've probably seen the curve.
Yeah, the bell curve with innovators, early adopters.
That's the one. Simek argues that to get mass market success, to really tip the scales, you don't start by trying to convince the skeptical majority in the middle.
No.
No. You start by inspiring the innovators and early adopters on the left side of that curve. Those first 15% or so, they're the ones driven by intuition, by belief, by the why.
They get it on a gut level.
They get it. And if you capture their hearts and minds with your why, they become your champions. They're the ones who take the risk, try the new thing, and then tell everyone else. They diffuse the idea to the early majority and beyond. They become your marketing, essentially, driven by belief.
So you ignite the core believers, and they carry the flame outwards.
Beautifully put. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense strategically. But then how do you live it? How does an organization or even an individual leader actually embody this why consistently? It can't just be words on a wall, right?
Absolutely not. That's where the fluff fails. Sinek stresses it needs to be operationalized. He talks about three crucial elements for making the why real and lasting. Think of them as pillars.
Here, pillars, what are they?
First, clarity and why. You have to know your why and be able to articulate it simply and clearly. If it's fuzzy, everything downstream gets muddled.
Like knowing your destination before you start driving.
Exactly. Think of Apple's old Think Different. That wasn't about computers. It was a belief, a why. That clarity drove everything. So first step, get crystal clear on the why.
Okay, clarity of why. Pillar 1, what's next?
Pillar 2 is the discipline of how. This means your values, your guiding principles, the way you do things must align completely with your why. They act like filters for decision-making.
So your actions have to match your stated belief.
Consistently. If your why is about, say, community empowerment, then how you treat employees, how you interact with customers, how you design programs, all of that must reflect empowerment. Any mismatch, any hypocrisy, and people see right through it. Trust evaporates.
Right. Discipline of how. Got it. And the third.
The third pillar is consistency of what. Everything you actually do, your products, your services, your marketing messages, every single output must be tangible proof of your why.
So the what has to reflect the why.
Always. If your why is about simplicity, your products can't be overly complicated. If it's about reliability, your service can't be flaky. This consistency across what, guided by how, rooted in why, is what builds that unshakable trust and authenticity.
Clarity, discipline, consistency, all flowing from the why. It paints a really coherent picture.
It does. When it works, it's powerful.
But Sinek also throws in a curveball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He warns that success itself can actually be dangerous. That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
How can success threaten your why?
It's a fascinating paradox and a very real trap.
Yeah.
As organizations grow, as they become successful, things get more complex. You bring in more people, maybe outside investors.
More pressure?
Exactly. More pressure to focus on metrics, on quarterly results, on market share. The focus can slowly, subtly shift from the original why, the purpose, to the what, the results, the profit, the growth.
Chasing the numbers instead of the cause.
Precisely. Leaders might start making decisions based on what's best for growth or what maximizes profit now, rather than what aligns with our why. This is what Sinek calls the split. The why gets diluted, compromised.
Mission drift.
Mission drift, exactly. And Sinek argues pretty compellingly that when organizations lose clarity or commitment to their original why, they eventually decline. Their competitive advantage, the very thing that made them inspiring, erodes. So protecting the why becomes a critical leadership function, especially during times of success.
That's a really sobering thought. Success isn't the finish line. It's a new challenge for staying true. Okay, so bringing this down to us, to you listening.
Yeah.
If you're a leader or want to be, or even just want more purpose in your work or life, how do you find your why? It feels like a big question. It's not like you just, pick one off a shelf.
No, definitely not. And Sinek emphasizes it's a process of discovery, not invention. You don't create your why, you uncover it. It's already there, woven into your past experiences.
So looking backwards.
Looking backwards is key. Reflect on your life, your career. What were the high points? The moments where you felt truly alive, fulfilled, proud. What specific contributions did you make in those moments?
Finding the patterns.
Finding the patterns, yes. What themes emerge? What kind of impact were you having on others? Your why statement should ultimately articulate your unique contribution and the positive impact that contribution has. It's always framed in service to others, not just yourself.
Contribution and impact.
Contribution and impact.
Yeah.
It takes time, reflection, maybe talking to people who know you well, but the goal is to articulate that core driving purpose that's always been there.
That makes sense. It's authentic then.
It has to be. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. Sinek uses this example powerfully. He don't give an I have a plan speech.
No, he had a dream.
He had a dream, a clear, deeply felt why rooted in equality and justice. It wasn't about the specific steps or legislation needed, though those came later. It was about the fundamental belief. And that resonated in the limbic brains of millions, inspiring action on a massive scale. That's the power of a clear why.
It really is an incredible example. Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into start with why, let's maybe pull back for a second. For you listening, what's the core message to take away? It feels quite transformative.
I think it is. It simplifies so much complexity if I had to boil it down. 1, always communicate from the inside out. Why first, then how, then what.
Why before what?
2, remember that emotion drives decisions. Connect with the limbic brain, the why first. Logic and features support the decision, they don't make it.
Emotion first, logic second.
3, lasting influence needs those 3 pillars. Clarity of why, discipline of how, and consistency of what. They have to work together.
Clarity, discipline, consistency.
And finally, true loyalty isn't bought, it's earned through shared beliefs. Build a community around a common purpose. Sinek's real contribution, I think, was connecting psychology, leadership, and even biology to show why this purpose-driven approach isn't just feel-good stuff, it's actually how the most successful and inspiring movements and organizations operate.
It really does all come back to that simple, powerful idea. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
It's a fundamental shift in perspective.
It is.
So here's the challenge for you as you finish listening and go about your day, your week. Take a moment to reflect on your own why. Not just at work, but everywhere. What's the purpose, the cause, the core belief that really drives you? In your career, sure, but also in relationships, in your choices, maybe even your hobbies. And then ask yourself, how might getting clearer on that, Why change how you show up, how you lead, how you communicate, how you connect with, and maybe even inspire others?
It's a powerful question.
It really is. Something to chew on. Keep seeking that lead. Why? Keep digging deep, and we'll catch you next time.